What's up, you goobers, goofballs, and also goons? It's still Savarino here. I wanted to show you something. Get me out of the kitchen. I've been cooking and I'm gonna burn something. Call me Gordon the way she Ramsay on my meal. Anyways, I have recently decided for the celebration of October, Halloween being my favorite holiday ever, I'm going to go back through and play every single Five Nights at Freddy's game. A franchise that I have cared significantly about ever since I was a wee little lad, a little jit, playing Five Nights at Freddy's 3 on my iPhone 4 in the middle school lunchroom, showing all my friends that I was a bad bitch who could play scary games. And so, moving forward, many years later, I wanted to do a playthrough of all of the games for Halloween, and I thought, what better than now to focus all of my creative efforts and all of my ability that I've learned throughout the years with Photoshop and editing to create not just absurdly eye-catching thumbnails, but thumbnails that are essentially like art pieces and nods to the encapsulation of my feelings and appreciation towards each game. So recently, I have been editing and editing and editing and editing, and I've been making a bunch of really good thumbnails. And I want to take you through the first 3 that I've made so far, because I've only made 3 so far, and I want to make one for every single game. But to start things off, this is Five Nights at Freddy's 1. This is an art piece that I love. And in my opinion, it's my favorite, and almost accidentally so. Because if you look at it, it looks intense. It looks very gritty. It looks not necessarily real, because Freddy Fazbear isn't a real thing, but it is an intense image, and I think that the words help do that. But what this is essentially, it is the original promotional art for Five Nights at Freddy's, where it's Freddy Fazbear, not Golden Freddy. This is Freddy. It looks like Golden Freddy. That's just me. I did that. It's Freddy, and he's sitting there with the human eyes that are all bloodshot and shit, right? And it looks scary, right? It's a spooky image. I think it usually in game pops up when it says like "it's me" and all that. That's what this is. And so I was like, I could put myself in that. Not only can I put myself in that mask, I could make it look scarier than it already does. And I think I did that successfully. Mainly because if you look at this, the words, of course, do, in my opinion, a little bit of the heavy lifting. Yes, they kind of obfuscate the image. They get in the way to a certain extent. But I like that I've noticed that without it, you can kind of see the flaws in the image. You can see that the blood isn't necessarily super accurate. It's kind of lazy. My eyes, they don't look like they're in the animatronic. It looks like I photoshopped myself into it, which I did. That's what happened. Wow, the veil's been lifted. But with the words, I feel like it creates this like intense, bloody, gory vibe. I think the eyes getting bloodshot also really contributes to that, as well as I don't know if you noticed this little artist trick. If you're ever someone who works on art in any capacity, or not even any capacity, if you're someone who works on thumbnails with faces, you want to make the eyes whiter. I did this. Let me see if I can find the image. I think it's, yeah, this one. See how the eyes are dull? And I did this to make the pupils whiter. Humans are naturally drawn to eyes. Naturally. You see eyes, and that's a person. That's going to grab your attention. So if you make the eye, the whites of the eyes just a little brighter, and a little more eye-catching, and a little more saturated, it will catch someone's attention. Just fun fact. Not saturated. That's brightness and saturation mixed together. Because just saturation would make my eyes red, and I'd look like I'm stoned out of my mind. But anyways, let's move on to FNAF 2. This one is another really good story. So this is FNAF 2. Wow. I showed this to some people, and they said it was actually too scary. Like, they didn't want to look at it because it was too horrifying to look at. I took this image. It's an old image of me at a gig. I was doing a bunch of dancing. I was a little tipsy-turvy, you know, a little silly at my gigs with my friends, my pals. And so I was dancing around. I was getting all sweaty. And someone took this picture of me where it's cut off right here, and the band is behind me. And it's an awesome image, but immediately popped into my head as what I wanted to do with myself, where I placed myself in the puppet box. That was my first thought. Was I want to be the puppet, or I want to be like in the puppet situation. Because initially I didn't look like this. Initially what I did was I didn't have these purple. The purple is new, although I think I did really good with that. But I also I took my eyes, well, not just eyes. I took this and dropped the saturation on it. I think it's, where's the saturation? Where the hell am I? What's going on? What universe am I in? Whatever. I dropped the saturation and I blacked out my eyes. I put the little white dots in it. And I added the purple. The purple actually, fun fact, maybe I will actually do a lesson here. This actually isn't like I went in and erased all the articulate little parts where my hair goes over it. I did an overlay. So like normally it would look like this. Go to darker color. Look at that. It melts together perfectly. Look at that, dude. It's fucking awesome. I love editing. I love making thumbnails. In fact, actually, someone hit me up recently asking for a commission of a thumbnail, which is very exciting because I would love to commission a thumbnail for someone. I'd love to make something for someone and maybe get paid to do it, paid to do something I'm passionate about, But I have a few rules I've been following, and you might be able to notice while making these thumbnails so far. One, my face needs to be the center of the screen. My face needs to be the focal point. Not because I'm not full of myself. I'm not up my own booty hole. I'm not, my head's not in my ass. But I find it important that it is like there is a certain rule that I follow and something consistent. Because like when I did Deltarune, I had one thing. It was me on the right or the left. There was a text bubble on the opposite side. There was a character from the game saying what was in the text box, and there was the giant title. It was very consistent. If you follow my Deltarune streams, you know what I'm talking about. But there was a rule set. With this rule set, face, center of the screen. Second thing, I need to be the villain. I need to be the animatronic. I can't be like some YouTubers. They do a thing where like they're like scared in the thumbnail. I do it myself. I'm not trying to make fun of them. I do the same thing. Scared in the thumbnail, holding the flashlight. The animatronic's he's right behind me, isn't he? That kind of thing. No. I am the villain. I want to be the villain in the thumbnail. I want it to be scary. I want it to grab people's attention. Same thing I did with FNAF 1, where I am the bad guy here. It looks horrifying. It looks scary. I'm kind of getting spring-trapped, low-key a villain in the situation, but it's within the veil of the same theme, So, same thing here. I'm the puppet. I look fucking horrifying. It's awesome. I love this. Third rule, so face, villain, third rule, the name, and this is something I follow with a lot of my projects, the name of the game needs to be huge. It needs to be a big, significant part of the thumbnail that covers at least 30% of the screen, because I feel like not enough YouTubers do that, and as a result, I never really know what they're playing. I see it in the title, and they can put it in the title, but that's clutter. I don't like clutter. So I like to put the name in the thumbnail and not put the title of the game in the title, because I can just put a joke in the title. It grabs people's attention. It's funny. I think I made the title for this one like Wind My Box Twin, because I'm the puppet. That's funny. Laugh at that. Laugh. Thanks. But now I'm revealing a thumbnail I have not publicly revealed yet, aside from very briefly on stream earlier today, but this isn't the final result was not revealed. And this is for Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Now, it follows the same rule. I am low-key a victim in this situation, but still I am within the villain. The title isn't necessarily huge, but I am the focal point. And this is actually an image I made over a year ago, had no idea what to do with it, and so it's been sitting in my computer until now. And it's this one. This one is it's a passion project of mine. So the eyes are recent. Initially, what I had was the eyes didn't exist. It was this. It was me in the head, and I was like, no, I'm in this pink tap. I got pink tapped, But I might do this with the eyes. This is actually something I'm still deliberating. No, not you. Something I'm still deliberating, and so I'm kind of, if anything, like forwarding it to you guys. What are your thoughts, But I like the idea that I have the Springtrap eyes, especially because those are the FNAF 3 pupils specifically, so it's kind of like an important detail as well, as I said, and a dedication, a sign of appreciation towards the games. So, yeah, same case, as well as the fact that the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 on the left or the right side of the screen, also very intentional, sort of. I had open space there, so it worked, but also because in all of the promotional art for FNAF 3, it was always on the right side, and I think that it's kind of cool to keep that with it. But, of course, moving forward, that's about it. That's all the real final products I have to show you now. But yeah, I'll just show you this one image. Look at that. That's nothing, but it's going to be something. You can see how these simple beginnings become something so crazy. This puppet one started with just that box and my head and the image of my head. So there's two images on a screen. And look at it now. It looks so good. And then now we have this. It's starting with nothing. It's the Foxy closet. And I think that would be the best thing to do for me when it comes to putting me in the closet, maybe putting me as Foxy. But I'm also considering potentially taking the open doorway. The open doorway, when you open the door and you crack it open, there's an animatronic, some freakazoid standing in the hallway, putting myself there. But regardless of all that, this is just a huge, very fun, very, in my opinion, successful project I've been doing. And I love that I've been able to put, I love showing my appreciation to this franchise. I love FNAF. It's so fun. The movie was but the games are awesome, especially the older games. It gets questionable with the later installations in the franchise, but of course the first 4, 5, arguably the first Pizza Sim is a. I'm not going to get lost in that. That's a whole conversation for a different video. But I appreciate this franchise, and I'm very glad I was able to show my appreciation with these pieces of art. Really, it's art. It's passion went into this. Passion went into this. It was a unique creation, and I made it myself. That's cool. Anyways, this video at 10 minutes. It shouldn't be at 10 minutes. That's a lot of yapping for a whole lot of nothing. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Say hi to me. You can do that too, and I'll say hi back. And as always, my name's still Savarino. Ah!